In the cinematic universe of the Alien franchise, beloved by all of us, there are many projects that only touch on the main questions indirectly. Among all the films, Prometheus stands out as an attempt to expand the lore. However, when Alien Covenant was released, the situation only got worse, and viewers completely lost track of what was happening. And now, after years, Fede Alvarez's Alien, Romulus has finally hit the screens, and we've received all the answers we've been waiting for. The director wasn't afraid to take on the responsibility and created a truly unique film that many have enjoyed. On the one hand, Romulus is infused with the atmosphere of the original films, and on the other, it serves as a continuation of Prometheus. Alvarez managed to merge these projects into one, and at last, we discovered what the pathogen really is, why xenomorphs grow so quickly, and why the engineers create human colonies. We are merely tools, a transitional step in their reproductive process. Now I understand Ridley Scott's words when he assured everyone that Romulus would mark a new point of no return for the entire cinematic universe. This is the Gaze For You channel, and today we'll be breaking down Alien, Romulus. There will be spoilers in the video. Let's get started. So, let's begin at the start of the Xenomorph's long journey. All the rumors about Weyland-Yutani Corporation finding the alien that Ripley ejected into open space have been confirmed. There had long been debates about whether the Xenomorph from the first film survived, and now we finally have the answer. But the most important part is how it was shown. The unique organism created a protective cocoon around itself. Foam and mucus are secreted from the tubes on its back, and it is from this material that Xenomorphs build hives. In extreme conditions, they are capable of constructing a cocoon around themselves. Inside, the organism completely halts all vital functions. The lab android Arud mentions in his report that the corporation genuinely believed the perfect organism had long been dead, but it turns out that the complete absence of air and nourishment couldn't kill it. When Andy sneaks into the Romulus lab, even more details are revealed. The scientists were able to create parasitoids, facehuggers, from the xenomorph's DNA, and not just one. They managed to create an entire farm. Inside their bodies, scientists discovered a unique non-Newtonian fluid, the genome of which holds the ability for all xenomorphic life forms to slow down or accelerate their metabolism at will. The pathogen can rewrite DNA and create new chains. This is the key to accelerated evolution. There's no need to wait hundreds of thousands of years for the process to begin. It's enough to use the right genome from the pathogen. So, what does this crucial information tell us? First, there had long been rumors that Ridley Scott wanted to rethink the process of how a facehugger implants itself into a host. Let me remind you that before Alien Covenant, it was believed that the embryo was inserted into the human body through the proboscis. However, in one of his later interviews, the director suggested the possibility of the pathogen being introduced in controlled doses into the host. But in Romulus, we clearly hear the lab android use the word larva. The facehugger inserts an embryo, which then merges with the host's DNA and forms into a new perfect organism, known to everyone as the Xenomorph XX121. The second important detail is the creature's ability to slow down and speed up their metabolism at will. The pathogen provides the energy necessary for growth, even hypergrowth. In just a few minutes, a chestburster was able to shed its skin and build a cocoon around itself, within which it transformed into an adult. I can only imagine how thrilled Giger would have been to see the cocoon with his own eyes. True fans will know what I mean. However, if there isn't enough nourishment or if external conditions are unsuitable for life, the creatures can halt all of their vital functions completely. This ability allows them to survive even in the vacuum of space. But to remain in an active phase of life, they still need food. In one scene, we see a xenomorph retrieving the bodies of Navari and Bjorn. Of course, they won't serve as viable hosts for the hive, but they'll do just fine as food. The third detail: all xenomorphic life forms carry the pathogen within their bodies. The black liquid can be found not only in neomorphs and protomorphs, but also in the engineers. Let me explain further. Why are the engineers carriers of the pathogen? If we go back to Prometheus, screenwriter John Spates mentioned in his original script, where the space jockeys obtained the pathogen. On planetoid 5523, inside the laboratory, there is a chamber dedicated to the extraction of black liquid. In the tomb, above which a mural of a xenomorph is displayed, lies the original xenomorph, also known as the Deacon. The pathogen is secreted from its body, and the engineers collect the liquid in urns. The android Rudd clearly states that the substance is present in all creatures, not just parasitoids. Alien. Romulus confirmed this. Any xenomorphic organism can be found inside the tomb. Fede Alvarez managed to bring everything together in a single film and even dared to show the alien's skull. You probably know that the creature's appearance was designed by the artist Hans Reddy Giger. His early sketches depicted a smooth, transparent carapace on the creature's head, under which a skull, very similar to a human one, could be seen. When Ridley Scott began filming his first movie in 1978, laying the foundation for a vast cinematic universe, the director was hesitant to show the skull. The creature needed to look as far removed from all known life forms as possible. This is what he told Giger at the time. And this trend continued throughout the franchise. Fans had been waiting for years to finally see the alien's skull, and Alvarez delivered. Since the xenomorph uses human DNA, its skull is highly similar to that of a human. Now, let's move on to the next question. The blood. There were two theories. The first, which I've always adhered to, was that the alien's blood is acidic. Others often argued that a protective fluid is hidden beneath the carapace, and when the surface is damaged, it's ejected under pressure and burns through everything around it. Superacid is an excellent defense mechanism, and now we've received definitive proof it's acid, not protective fluid, that flows as the alien's blood. But Alvarez didn't stop there. The question of how facehuggers find a host had always remained unanswered. While inside the ovomorph, a rudimentary neural system sends signals to the facehugger about the location of its prey, guiding the parasite. But what happens next? For example, what if the facehugger misses its target? How does it react then? In Romulus, we finally got the answer: thermal signatures. Facehuggers detect heat and sound vibrations. I won't say I particularly liked this scene, but I'm still glad we got an answer. Let's return to the Romulus lab. We see that the corporation has made significant progress. They are extracting the pathogen from facehuggers in large quantities. They even managed to synthesize the genome responsible for aging, the elixir of life, the fire of Prometheus. However, Rudy mentions that the synthesized pathogen still contains an element that parasitizes by rewriting the DNA code of the host organism. On the screen, we see a test subject, a rat injected with this genome. At first, the rat shows rapid regeneration, demonstrating extraordinary vitality, just as the android said. The rat seems healthy, but after some time, the xenogen takes over. The poor creature explodes and mutates into an entirely new xeno-organism. This is why the android Andy's new mission is to deliver the synthesized pathogen to the Weyland-Yutani lab for further development. The scientists couldn't fully synthesize the fluid correctly. They need to remove the parasitic xeno component. Unfortunately, Kay wasn't aware of this. She was pregnant, and as a mother-to-be, she was willing to do anything to protect her child, even make rash decisions. So she injected herself with the pathogen. At first, it worked. Kay gained strength and managed to get up and even reach the shuttle. But since she was pregnant, a series of mutations began to occur within her. We've seen something similar before in Prometheus, when Elizabeth Shaw became pregnant by Charlie. The microorganism was able to reach her egg cell, and as a result, the trilobite was formed. Here, things are completely different. First, this is not a full-fledged pathogen, but only a synthesized genome. Second, the woman was already pregnant, so no new organism was formed. What happened was a rewriting of the DNA of the existing embryo. And the most fascinating part of the film is the result. Kay gave birth to a proto-engineer. On the set, they apparently referred to it as the descendant, though this isn't confirmed yet. This descendant resembles a mix of an engineer and a neomorph. Its face, eye color, and skin tone indicate it's an engineer, but the xenomorph genome left its mark. We see a tail, nascent dorsal tubes, and other features. Interestingly, it was born without a tail, but after drinking breast milk, which in truth looks more like the slime produced by the xenomorphs, the tail grew in just a few seconds, thanks to its ability to accelerate bodily growth. If we compare some scenes, they closely mirror actions from Prometheus. Fede Alvarez makes one thing clear: the engineers were created, and they need humans to reproduce themselves. Humanity is just an intermediate step. That's why there is no female gender among the creators throughout the story. This race is a hybrid of the original elder engineers and the pathogen. They establish human colonies for their own purposes. On planet 5523, the engineers were preparing to travel to Earth not to destroy it, but to enhance their population. When David awakened the last surviving engineer, he knew that his entire group was dead. Before becoming infected, he managed to enter cryosleep. The other three also went into stasis, but xenomorphs emerged from their bodies. All three pods were damaged in the chest area. The last survivor was completely healthy and set out to correct the mistake. I believe that the space jockeys succeeded in achieving the desired results, in synthesizing the pathogen, and learned to control it. That's what Alien Romulus is about, an attempt to fix all the lore's mistakes. We know that essentially the lore is still being developed. Undoubtedly, Ridley Scott turned everything upside down in Prometheus, and Fede Alvarez expanded the story even further. Yes, like you, I had many questions, but if you watch everything carefully, you can find answers. And whatever you still don't understand after watching Romulus, feel free to write in the comments.